Hey, we're back with another story, and today we're going to read a book called When My Grandma Sings. I would not be including the text for this book because it would be very long in the slideshow. So instead, you would just hear me narrate with the photos following. This story is by Robena Egemonye, illustrated by Judi Spooner. My grandma is singing in our church today. I am so excited. I will be at the very front, sitting at the end of the pew. My grandma sings so beautifully. She used to make recordings. Her gospel songs are known all over the world. Grandma sang lead, accompanied by two other ladies. Their trio was known as the Heralds of Joy. They sang for American soldiers who fought in Vietnam. They performed before the Queen of England at Buckingham Palace. They even sang at the White House for 2 presidents. They won national awards, which are given yearly for outstanding work in the music industry. Most recording musicians want to win at least one of these awards. But my grandmother has won 3. Grandma receives letters from her fans every day. I like reading the nice things that people have to say about my grandma's voice. Most of all, I like to take my friends to the neighborhood recording store where we can see her poster. I also share the many souvenirs that my grandma has given to me from around the world. My friends and my classmates always ask what my grandma is really like. What does a famous person do? Well, he or she eats, drinks, sleeps, smiles, laughs, sleeps, or snores just like you or me. Today, Grandma will sing a spiritual for our Black History Month program. She has done this for many years, and it is now a tradition. I am so proud of her. Our pastor, Reverend Lee, comes over and hugs Grandma. He is happy that she is going to sing today. He calls her a voice of marvelous instrument, one that will be remembered forever. I am not sure about what he means, but I too love to hear her sing. Grandma looks beautiful as she glides towards the pianist. She makes a swishing, swirling sound. Her elegant black and white suit, hat, shoes, and gloves match my outfit. I have on a lovely white dress with a black sash and patent leather shoes. I especially like my elegant ponytail with shiny ribbon highlights. Whenever we have to dress up, we try to color coordinate our outfits. Everyone says, I am just like my grandma. I look like her. I am named Della in her honor. We both eat the same kinds of food. We get our hair, nails, and toes done together. We love music, especially gospel music. Like her, I am the only child with plenty of cousins and kinfolk. We just heard a word that a lot of people may not be familiar with. The word was called kinfolk. Do you know what kinfolk mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. Kinfolk means family, and it also means extended family. So it may be friends that grew up with you a long time ago or friends of your family, and that's considered kinfolk as well. Grandma told me about the time that my father traveled with her when he was younger. On the tours, he met some of the greatest gospel singers of all times, including Mahalia Jackson, Clara Ward, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, and Roberta Martin. My father also remembers that a lot of people became angry with Grandma because she believed in taking gospel music to people wherever they were, even to the nightclubs. This was a very brave thing to do. My grandma used to promise I can go on tour with her when I got older, but that is not possible anymore. Grandma would never tour again. She has a sickness. I call it the forgetting disease. My parents call it Alzheimer's disease. So we just learned that her grandma has Alzheimer's disease, and that is a disease that destroys your memory and other important mental functions. And unfortunately, today there is not a cure, but a lot of research is going on to try to solve the problem. Alzheimer's disease attacks the brain. No one knows why some people get this disease and others don't. The best way to understand Alzheimer's disease is to imagine you are in a strange place where no one speaks your language and you don't know anyone or recognize anything. How would you feel? Alone, scared, confused, and sad? That is how it feels to have Alzheimer's disease. At first, Grandma forgot little things. She forgot where she put her house keys, and she forgot to feed her cat. Then she began to forget very important things, like my daddy's name and that she had to turn off the stove. Even forgets my name and that I am her granddaughter. One time, my grandma left her home and was gone for several days. No one knew where she was. We were all scared. The police found her sitting in a park. She did not know where she had been. We were glad she was safe. After that, Grandma came to live with us. After my grandmother moved in with us, I asked my mother how could we help her. She told me there is no cure for the forgetting sickness. We can help her at home as best as we can. I have put together a memory box full of her recordings. This is so I can help her to remember her songs. My grandmother has forgotten a lot of things, but she has not forgotten how to sing. When my grandma sings, the sun seems to shine through brightly, even if the rain is pouring outside. When she sings, she glows, and my heart is filled with joy. When my grandma sings, people get down on their knees, people shout, people laugh, and some cry. As my grandma faces the congregation, she is greeted by a hand-clapping, foot-stomping explosion, which overflows into the pianist pounding introduction. Everyone is waiting. Grandma hesitates as her eyes crinkle. She looks as if she's about to cry. I can tell she has been taken over by the forgetting disease. People start to murmur and look around. No one seems to know what to do. Suddenly, I hear a voice, my voice, singing How I Got Over. I stand beside my grandma. I hold her hand. She smiles radiantly and starts to sing with me. Her voice takes over the forgetting disease as the pianist starts to play again. How I got over, how I got over, made my soul look back and wonder. How I got over, tallest tree in paradise, they called it the tree of life. And my soul looked back and wondered how I got over. I've been buked, I've been scorned, and I've been talked about as sure as you're born. And my soul looked back and wondered how I got over. Oh, Jordan's river is so cold, it will chill your body, but not your soul. And my soul looked back and wondered how I got over, how I got over, how I got over. We are finished. Everyone is clapping and cheering. There are great shouts of joy. As I look out at the audience, I imagine singing with her on tour just for a moment. I smile at all the happiness that surrounds us. This is no surprise to me. This is the way it is when my grandma sings.